Hi, I'm Amy Yildizla, and welcome to day 30 of our March Madness Challenge here at Rebirth Pilates. We're going to be working a little bit on spiral and rotational patterns today. We work a lot in these forward and back motions. We do side to side, but we don't work a lot in our spirals and rotations, and that's somewhere where we can find a lot of extra strength and a lot of extra support in our core. So we're going to work on discovering that, working into spirals, seeing where we're stuck a little bit, and try to move a little bit more in some interesting places as we get close to the end of our challenge. So let's get started. Come up to the top of your mat. Take your feet into parallel. Take a moment to stand tall into your full footprint, and we're going to start with some spirals right at the top. So standing, you're going to lean forward, bring your weight into your toes, and then into your heels. A couple of times just to get your toes and heels aware of the weight shift. Try to make it equal between both of your feet. The whole foot stays on the ground. You grow taller out of your feet. And then you're going to go side to side a few times, just trying to find that weight shift. The foot stays connected to the floor still. It's just a shift of weight. And then let's start with some circles. So you go into this kind of spiral around your foot. So you're really trying to find all the edges as you go around. And then you can reverse it after 3 or 4. Just still finding the edges, seeing anywhere that's challenging for you to get to. Can you get into that just a little more? Anything you're aware of in your foot as it activates as you change. And when you've done 3 to 4 in that direction, try to find a centered place of stillness for a moment. And then we're going to go in to the right. We're going to go forward and to the right in as big a spiral, keeping our feet down as we can, and then start to make it smaller. So an actual spiral into the center and into stillness. And then we're going to go to the left. We go forward into a big circle the first time, still foot stays down, and then start to make it smaller and smaller as you go around until you come to center. Grow tall again, and then come down to the mat however you're coming down today. I'm going to go Pilates V, crossed arms, deep squat to a sit. Hands on the mat, scoot yourself back. Gonna bring your feet hip distance apart, hands behind your knees. Take an inhale here. Grow tall, exhale, tuck your tail, curl your spine. At the bottom, take both hands to the right leg and come up on the right side. Go back down on the right side. And then hands to the left leg, up on the left side. Down on the left side, over to the right, over to the left. One more on each side. Come back up through center and sit tall. Inhale here. Release your legs, exhale, roll yourself onto your back. Check. Center yourself when you're in the middle of your mat. Make sure you have space for your head. Then you bring your legs up into your tabletop position. Float your arms up to the ceiling, open them out to a T. Turn them palms down today. So you can really ground your arms as you take your legs over, keeping them together. So you're keeping those knees together, so you're lifting your top hip even more, to make sure your top knee is reaching as much as it can with your left bottom knee. Inhaling and exhaling. One more to each side. Back to center. Arms up. Then bring your arms down, palms face down. Extend your legs up to the ceiling. Bring one leg down to the mat. And you're going to go for your circle. So flex the foot that's on the floor and take your leg across. We're going to do big circles. So hands go wider than the mat. You're going to take your leg over, let your pelvis come with it this time, and then circle it down and around. So as your leg comes over, your pelvis will follow and you'll go down and around. We're doing 5 in each direction. So take an inhale over and exhale around. Last one. Pause at the top and reverse it. So you take it down and the pelvis comes up as you go around. 3 more. Last one. And pause at the top. Really lengthen that leg as you lower it down. Flex that foot. Point the toes of the other foot and bring it up to the ceiling. You'll take your foot across. That leg comes all the way across, the pelvis comes up, and you circle. 5 in each direction again. Try to keep that leg as straight as you can as you take it across. So you're trying to find that spiral of the lower body. Arms are staying down, shoulders staying down. Reversing. 2 more. Pelvis comes up as that leg comes across and pause. The last one. And pause at center. Reach to the toes. Really lengthen that leg. Flex both your feet. Bring them all the way together. Take your arms overhead. Big inhale. Keep the ribs down. Inhale, head, neck, and chest lift, and do your roll up however you need to. Finding that stretch over the legs, inhaling at the top. And then exhaling, rolling it down. Piece by piece, take your time with it. Big stretch at the top, pulling those abs back, pulling that pelvis back, but reaching forward with the crown of the head and the fingertips. Exhale as you roll it back down. We're going to change it up a little bit. So you're going to lift your head, neck, and chest. You're going to take your hands over towards the right, and you're going to try to roll up on the right side. And roll down on the right side. Take it up and over to the left and exhale as you lift and reach to the left. And then roll back down on the left. 2 more to each side. You do this however you need to. If you need to bend your knees, if you need to grab your legs, if you need to use a strap or put your feet underneath your couch. As you start to gain strength, try to challenge yourself to use less and less assistance. The last one to each side. Come back to center, give yourself a big stretch here. And roll onto your side. You're going to bend your bottom arm, bring it underneath your head for a moment. You really want to find your stacked position. So I'm going to extend my arm out. I'm in this straight line from my fingertips to my hips. I can use the back of my mat to set myself up. So if you want to bring yourself all the way to the back of your mat, that's one way to find your straight line. You could use a wall, but actually you can't use a wall because you need to move. And you're going to take your arm forward and reach forward. Let your ribs move. You're going to sweep that arm up and over your head and roll yourself open. And then circle all the way around. So it's a reach forward, sweep around. You're trying to keep your pelvis where it is and move your upper body in a circle. Spiraling around. 1 more in this direction. And then you'll reverse. the arm comes low, your head rolls back, you reach into that open position, and then up and overhead and forward. Opening out and bringing it around. One more time, opening out, stretching, and bringing it back around. Good, come up onto your hand, so your hand is supporting your head. You're gonna straighten your legs out to the front corner of your mat. So your hips and shoulder and head are in one line, and your feet are towards the front corner. We're gonna do some big circles in this position. So you're trying to keep the waist relatively lifted as you take the leg forward, up, back, and around. Just 3 in each direction. Keep your hand in front of you to help with some of that support, or you can bring it behind your head if you really want to challenge your balance. So that would be here. Or you can push with your hand to find more support. I've reversed. I have one more in the reverse direction. Good. Bring my legs together. I'm going to push up and spin around to get to the other side. So if your mat is really sticky, sometimes that can be a little bit of a challenge to get around like that. You can use the back of your mat again to set yourself up. Bend your knees to that 90-90 position. We're going right into that spiral, so you reach forward. You take your arm up and overhead all the way around. So it's forward, up, and all the way around. One more, forward, up, and all the way around. And then we'll reverse it. So the arm will sweep back by your hips, and then to an open position, your head can roll back onto the floor. Take the arm up and overhead, and then back forward. So you're making these big circles and having your spine follow the circles. One more. Good, coming back to the side. You're gonna come up onto your elbow in that straight line, straighten your legs out, and then bring them to the front corner of the mat. Hand can go here or behind the head. You're pushing down, actively lifting your waist. We're gonna swing the leg forward, up, and back in a big circle, 3 times in each direction. Big circles. And then reverse, bringing it back and around. Back, up, and around. One more time. And around. Good. Go ahead and turn onto your front, onto a quadruped position. Hands and knees. Which was not maybe the best choice, but that's okay. Hands go right underneath your shoulders, knees are right underneath your pelvis. Just 2 cat-cows to start. Finding that extension through the upper spine. So we talk a lot about how, in this challenge, how we want to find extension in our thoracic, in that upper spine, not just in our lumbar and our low back. Let's do one more here. Stay in this extension, and then you're going to go into a spiral. You're going to wag your tail, look over your shoulder. Wag your tail, look over your shoulder. One more like that to each side, just to get warmed up in the side-to-side motion. And now you're going to add a spiral. You wag, you go into your cat, wag, and go into your cow. So you're going in a full circle, 3 in each direction. And then you'll reverse it. And then find a neutral spine here. You're going to thread the needle. Bring the elbow and reach it under, bending your elbow, bringing your ear towards the mat. And then open up to the ceiling. So I'm trying to keep my pelvis relatively squared as I move my upper body 3 times in this spiral. Last one. And bring your hand down. We go the other way. So you're bending your right elbow as you reach your left arm, left ear towards the ground. Push into that right hand, then open the chest up and reach the left arm to the ceiling. 2 more times. Inhale to spiral. Exhale to open. 1 more time. Coming back to center. Curl your toes under, lift your hips up, stretch back into a downward dog. And then come forward into your plank. And then back to your downward dog. And then back to your plank. 1 more time. Downward dog, stretch, back to the plank. We're going to take ourselves into that downward dog stretch. Bend one knee, allow the pelvis to rotate and twist. Then straighten the other leg and bend the other knee and allow the pelvis to rotate and twist. One more to each side. Come back to the center, give yourself one good stretch there, and then walk your hands towards your feet, or your feet towards your hands. Take a moment, let everything be heavy, and then round yourself all the way up to standing. Stand tall. Come back into standing, feet into parallel. Take one big inhale, big breath. And then exhale, bring your arms down. So I hope you enjoyed today, day 30 of our challenge. Just one more day left. Today we worked on spirals. I hope you felt good about moving your spine in a new and different direction. I know we've done some of those spirals together before, but we've not put them all together into one class. So I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you back here for day 31, our last day of our mat challenge. Again, like and subscribe to keep up with our videos, and check us out on rebirthpilates.com. Thanks again for coming.